right after this first 2 seconds, it's gonna be a 1v1, but I had to plant the spike myself, and Reyna was playing the upper area of the site, so I was holding down the site myself while the two defenders retook against us. So I was trying to bait her as much as possible here because the two defenders had a crossfire on me on the left side of this site on the bottom and the right side. So what I was trying to make them do was push Reyna first so that they were looking at her and not me so that I'd get a free kill and then have an easy 1v1 after that. So I flashed out first to see if Phoenix was peeking out from CT, and when I saw that he wasn't, I wanted to see if I got Gecko to flush out from Sand on my nade, and when neither of them peeked me, I went back to cover. So when I saw that neither one of them were peeking on my flash and nade, since I had no more utility left, I was waiting for timing on them, basically, when I was on the bottom of the site again. I reloaded because I knew that I had enough time to, and that they already knew where I was, so I wouldn't be able to use the element surprise anyway if I just saved the reload and cut on the nose anyway. And at this point, I heard Gecko pushing me from the right side, and because I knew that he was pushing me first, and I saw Phoenix first and not Gecko, I knew that he had to be on the right side, so I just held him right after I got this kill here.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
My Fade dies because she pushed and she didn't tell me, and there was no way for me to tell whether she was gonna look for info or hold the push from defenders or whatever. So I was holding, trying to get somebody to push from B main, because at that point we didn't even push anything yet and we still had the bomb. So what I was trying to do was wait for a defender to get greedy and push us, but Faye did that instead. And Cypher was holding her on this angle here, and I missed the timing on him because I had no idea where he was because there were no calls. And after I shoot him, since I know where he is and there's only 26 seconds left, I wanted to push him because I figured since I'm a duelist, I can at least make it a 1v1 since I had the premonition that they weren't going to play this correctly. It almost ended up being the ideal situation that I played out in my head, but since I didn't peek this correctly, I ended up getting killed by Cypher because I'm not clearing the angles slowly enough, despite there being only 18 seconds on the clock, and there was definitely enough time to clear this guy, or at least position my crosshair better, because I was peeking this as if Cypher was holding an angle and not moving at all, but turns out I wasn't ready for his peek at all. What ended up happening was Cypher was doing the exact same thing I was, and he was moving while he was holding the angle, so he was more ready than I was, because at this point he has less space to hold while he's peeking, where I have to clear all the way from here across to here, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5 angles. 5 angles before I actually see Cypher. So I'm not really ready for him, because thinking about where the other guy is rather than how I can kill Cypher in this scenario, which is what I should have been thinking of. So basically what happens is I'm stuck with a stinger. I put my last smoke down over here for cover. What happens is the Reyna's ulted, the Reyna kills my Yor, I get unlucky here with the dismiss, and then I ended up with 5 bullets here. This is almost the worst case scenario for clutching, and I'm also out in the open here, which is another problem in itself, but I have no idea what the enemy team was doing. This is like a Swift play or something, and so I'll go back to the smoke here, and my plan here is to wait and have somebody push the smoke, because if they can't see me backside or front side or anywhere else that they have someone holding it, then I have to be in the smoke, or I went back to CT or something. So my thought process here is that I wait in the smoke, wait for somebody to get greedy, and push them. Which kind of worked, except that I had 5 bullets, so I switched to my classic right when Reyna peaked. And granted, it was, I mean, it's impossible to get perfect timing on that, but it was just unlucky nonetheless. So now that I know that Reyna knows that I'm in the smoke, I try to walk out of smoke and get a free kill here. And I get really lucky here because there's only one guy here. And I can classic him. He's not even looking at me. So he gets skill diff there. And now that they know I'm backside, I assume that someone's in the smoke again. Most likely Reyna. So they're going to push me. I go back into smoke. I don't know why I canceled the reload. Still 5 bullets here. The idea here is to close the distance as much as possible. I figure I have like 8 more seconds on the smoke. I don't remember when I smoked, but there's not a lot of time left. So I figured I'm going to milk this as much as possible and use the advantage I have in the smoke with Peeker's advantage so that I can kill at least one more. So I get one more kill. Really lucky there. Didn't see anybody in the, I don't know what you want to call this, mini jump spot. And I very well could have gotten shot in the ass here. But the enemy team was just sleeping or something. So then I go back into smoke after I fully reload. I should have just ran in there and jump spotted, but their Omen was, I mean, he had more than enough time to figure out what I was doing, so easy kill for him. This clutch is something that could have been, really, if maybe a couple more things had gone right. It's a good butterfly effect showcase, because as you can see in the beginning here, Yor has a sight, so if I can just scale up with him on the lurk, then we both can defend the site together. But that's not what ended up happening. And instead, I assumed that even though I saw one there on the radar, that more of them are going to assume that we're going to see, since they had no info previously, and they're going to rotate over fast because that's what people do. So naturally, I just TP over to the farthest site, because if I TP'd on to B, I know it might seem pretty apparent and obvious, but they would have heard me, and they would have had more time to rotate over anyway, because again, I only knew where one of them was on the map at this point, so I wanted to go to A site to give myself the most time to set up and get a good angle. Right after I TP'd, I planted the bomb because I said something else, but what I really meant to say was you really shouldn't waste time after you TP to plant the bomb, because it ruins the Omen surprise for them. And as soon as you plant the bomb, it starts the timer for them, so that now you're defending the bomb and they're on attack. So they basically have 40 seconds to defuse the bomb and kill you, or they lose. Plant the bomb as fast as possible. That goes for pretty much any clutch. You want to get the bomb down as fast as possible in a 1v whatever situation. And if you're trying to defuse the bomb as defenders, you want to tap it as fast as possible. So after I TP over, I plant here because it's safe. I smoke out this because I want to cross over to either heaven or hell and get a better angle, because I assume that at least 2 of them are going to be coming from elbow or heaven. So I want to try and isolate the 1v1s here. And this is taking a big gamble, which is what you have to do in clutch situations, because the gamble here is that that 2 of them, at least, are going to be coming from elbow/CT area here. And I want to take the space that I made myself either in the smoke, hell, or up in heaven. And the reason why it's so risky is because either someone could be ratting sewer long, and it could possibly be more than one. So what I'm basically doing here is leaving myself exposed to being shot in the back from angles I'm not looking at, because I basically had one piece of information here, which is that Harbor was outside C window, and I'm gambling that they're probably playing together to some extent, at least in CT or over in A elbow. So I want to try to cut down the angles here, so that I can have a better chance of isolating the 1v1s, which is really what it's all about here. And as Omen, if you have TPs and you don't use them in a clutch, then you're basically throwing away the round potential to win. So I kind of trolled here because if you watch my crosshair, I want to TP up there. I think this was like a half check to see if there was anybody heaven. And really what I wanted to do was either TP up there or fake a TP in case somebody was close and they thought I repositioned from where I am now. Instead, what I did was ran in smoke with Shorty, which granted, if this is a 1v1, this isn't really a horrible idea. I only did this because I smoked it, and I have an advantage here with the shotgun at close range, but I also heard somebody not walking through A elbow, and I wanted to get at least 1 kill on them. If I get this 1 kill, there's a high chance that I get traded, and it's a 1v1 for them, and they win the round easily, but I gambled that at that point, they weren't playing together, and that I could have at least a free kill in this smoke and give myself some more time to position and reset my thinking. So what happens is I actually have enough bullets for the trade, but I shot again, so I didn't. And then what I wanted to do was, I assumed that people, at least one, was behind him. So I walked out of the smoke, and I wanted to reposition from hell, but I got this kind of decision paralysis, as Woojin calls it, where I want to do one thing, but I think about doing the other thing, and I end up not doing anything anyway. So at this point, I'm being overloaded with information because someone is shooting an Ares from sewer, or an Odin from sewer, and I was thinking of teleporting up to heaven without looking here in real time. The person from sewer can see you 100% if you TP up there, because I'm pretty sure there was no way for me to safely TP up there, even if I TP'd on this small little corner in the top right of heaven. At this point, they're playing it pretty well to their side, to their credit, because I assumed that they were going to be playing it correctly, and they weren't playing it correctly to trade me. So what ended up happening was I could have had 3 isolated 1v1s, but instead I isolated myself into a crossfire of 2 people, because Omen shows up long, and at that point, Reyna is around this corner with an Odin. So even if I get the kill on this guy, it's really only a matter of time before Reyna rounds this corner and kills me anyway. At the beginning right here, we know both of the defenders' positions here. So one is seen on the radar, presumably out B main here, and the other we know is CT, because as soon as I get there, and as soon as I hear somebody on the sensor, close left here, there's a fight here with where we have an advantage. The ult ends up not getting anybody, so at this point, they know where I am, I know where they are, and it's just a matter of playing the 2v1 correctly for them. So basically, if they push me at the same time, it's a free win for them. But what ends up happening is Sova pushes too fast, because Phoenix is doing Phoenix stuff over there, and I ended up getting a kill here because Phoenix's wall actually stopped Sova from seeing me at all. And I have this free 1v1 here because I got the timing on Phoenix, and I wanted to push that wall and get aggressive to get a kill. So after that, I know that Sova has to push me because he knows where I am, I know where he is. There's very little time for either side to clutch it up. So in his mind, he wants to push me because he knows exactly where I am. But what ends up happening is he just wide swings and is looking at the other corner for some reason, I guess. And it comes down to skill diff here.